In the endless flow of human history, there are countless works and artifacts discovered whose existence challenges all our understanding of the past. We are talking about relics that are not simply traces of a civilization, but also big questions suspended in space and time. Today, let's embark on a journey to discover the 5 most bizarre ancient artifacts, where each piece contains an untold story, an unrevealed secret. We will learn about Egypt's mysterious Saqqara Bird, the Phaistos Disc with its strange and undecipherable characters, the great underground city of Derinkuyu in Turkey, the extraordinary Sakawaman stone walls in Peru, and finally the incredibly perfect giant stone spheres in Costa Rica. Imagine yourself standing in the middle of a vast desert, where the hot wind blows through the ancient pyramids, whispering stories from thousands of years ago. Egypt, the land of the pharaohs, of mysterious hieroglyphs and great constructions, has always been a magnet for explorers and archaeologists. It was in this legendary land, specifically in the vast Saqqara necropolis, home to the Pyramid of Djoser, the world's first large stone structure, that a small but shocking discovery was made in the late 19th century. A wooden object, not very remarkable at first glance, but holding a secret that has left scientists scratching their heads for more than a century: the Sakara Bird. Basically, the Sakara Bird is a finely carved wooden model. It is about 18 centimeters long and has a similar wingspan, about 18.3 centimeters. The object is made of sycamore wood, a fairly common wood in ancient Egypt, easy to find and process. Based on the style and age of the tomb where it was found, archaeologists estimate that the Sakara Bird dates back to around 200 BC, which means it has existed for about 2,200 years. This is the Ptolemaic period, a period in history when Egypt was strongly influenced by Greek culture after the conquest of Alexander the Great. Initially, when it was discovered in 1898 by a French archaeological team, the Sakara Bird did not attract any special attention. It was found in a tomb at Saqqara, along with many other burial objects. Archaeologists at the time simply classified it as an ordinary ritual object, perhaps a toy bird for children, or a symbol of the falcon Horus, the god of the sky, the king of gods in Egyptian beliefs. With the knowledge of ancient technology at that time, no one thought that such a simple object could contain anything special. However, nearly a century later, in 1971, a group of scientists began to look at the Sakara Bird from a completely new perspective. The pioneer in this research was Dr. Khalil Messiha, an Egyptian archaeologist and aeronautical engineer. Messiha, with his deep understanding of both ancient history and the principles of flight, noticed that the Sakara Bird had features that did not resemble any biological bird or any other decorative item found in ancient Egyptian archaeology. Instead, it had features that were surprisingly reminiscent of aerodynamics, the fundamentals that allow modern aircraft to take off and fly. Let's dive into these special features. Wing section. This is the key point. The Sakara Bird's wing was not flat like a normal bird's wing or a wooden board. Instead, it had a certain curvature on the top surface and was relatively flat on the bottom surface. This structure is the design of a wing section, an aerodynamic shape designed to create lift when air flows over it. Aeronautical engineers know that the curved surface forces air to travel a longer and faster distance, creating lower pressure above the wing, while higher pressure below pushes the object up. This is the basic principle of gliding. Wing ratio and angle. The Sakara's wings are quite straight and do not have the backward slope of most birds' wings, but are more similar to those of modern gliders or some small aircraft. Furthermore, they are attached to the body at a positive angle, meaning the wing is tilted slightly upwards, a design that enhances the lateral stability of the object in flight. Vertical tail. This is a unique feature. The Sakara possesses a single vertical tail, identical to the vertical stabilizer on the tail of a modern aircraft. A real bird does not need such a vertical tail to fly. It controls its direction and stability by moving its wings and tail horizontally. The presence of this vertical tail suggests some understanding of directional stability, the ability to maintain a straight flight path without turning sideways. After careful analysis, Dr. Messiha and his team have boldly proposed that the Sakara Bird was not a mere toy or symbol, but rather an early aerodynamic test model. evidence that the ancient Egyptians may have had some idea of flight, or at least an understanding of how to create lift and stability in the air. To test this hypothesis, they conducted a crucial experiment. They built a larger replica of the Saqqara Bird, using similar materials and shapes, and made a few adjustments. The original Sakara Bird was missing its horizontal tail, an important part for providing vertical stability. So the researchers added a small horizontal stabilizer to the tail of the replica. The results were truly astonishing. When launched, the model glided through the air very well, demonstrating its ability to generate significant lift and maintain a stable flight path. This raised a shocking question in the scientific and historical world. Did the ancient Egyptians, more than 2 millennia ago, possess knowledge of aerodynamics and even the idea of flight that we do not know? This would completely overturn what we have traditionally believed about the development of aviation, which is usually attributed to the time of Leonardo da Vinci or the Wright brothers. To this day, the Sakara Bird stands tall in the Egyptian Museum in Cairo, a small wooden object that holds a huge secret. It is not only an archaeological relic, but also a powerful reminder of the limits of our understanding of the past and of the extraordinary capabilities of our ancestors. It challenges us to rethink the extent and limits of ancient civilizations, and raises the question of how many other great secrets lie deep within the earth, waiting to be discovered. Whatever the final answer, the Saqqara Bird remains one of the most mysterious and controversial artifacts of ancient Egypt, and perhaps it is this mystery that creates its irresistible appeal, forever making us curious about what really happened out thousands of years ago. Leave the sandy shores of Egypt, cross the blue waters of the Mediterranean, and set foot on a beautiful but mysterious island, Crete. This is the cradle of the brilliant Minoan civilization, one of the oldest civilizations in Europe, which left behind magnificent works of architecture and unique art. It was here, on the ruins of the ancient Phaistos Palace, on a sunny morning in July 1908, that a small discovery, made of clay, has caused the whole world of archaeology and cryptology to headache for more than a century. That is the Phaistos Disc. The discoverer of the Phaistos Disc was Italian archaeologist Luigi Pernier. He discovered it in a small, deep underground cellar in the Phaistos Palace area, near a clay block containing cow bones. This suggests that it may have been hastily buried in some kind of storage. When found, the disc was about 15 centimeters in diameter and less than 2 centimeters thick. It was made of baked clay, a material that has stood the test of time. What makes the Phaistos Disc so unique and mysterious is its surface. Both sides of the disc are covered with characters arranged in an orderly spiral pattern, from the edge of the disc to the center. In total, there are 241 symbols on both sides, divided into 61 separate groups of characters by vertical lines. This is a very unusual arrangement of text, unlike any other writing system known at the time. Digging deeper into each character, we can see an incredible diversity. There are a total of 45 distinct characters, depicting vivid and detailed images. Human faces with different hairstyles, animals such as birds, fish, insects, plants such as lilies, man-made objects such as boats, weapons, headgear, tools, and even abstract shapes. Each character is clearly engraved, showing the skillful craftsmanship. However, the most special thing is not only the shape of the characters, but also the way they were created. Unlike conventional writings that are hand-carved or painted, the characters on the Phaistos disc were created by stamping from separate seals. This means that the creator of this disc used a set of pre-carved seals for each character, then imprinted them onto the wet clay surface before firing. This suggests that it was not a one-off text, but rather a mass-produced document, or at least one that was produced through a systematic, standardized process. Dating from around the 17th century BC, the Phaistos Disc is at the height of the Minoan civilization, which left us several other writing systems, such as Linear A and Linear B. Linear B has been deciphered and identified as a form of ancient Greek, used for administrative documents. Linear A has not yet been fully deciphered, but it bears some similarities to Linear B. However, the characters on the Phaistos Disc do not match any known Minoan writing system, nor do they match any other languages or scripts from other ancient civilizations around the world. This is the crux of what makes it one of the greatest archaeological mysteries, a Rosetta Stone, for which we have yet to find the key. For over 100 years, linguists, cryptographers, and archaeologists from all over the world have been working to decipher the contents of the Phaistos Disc. Hundreds of hypotheses have been put forward, ranging from meticulous scientific analysis to the most fanciful ideas, but so far, no one has been able to come up with a convincing and widely accepted explanation. The factors that make it difficult include the small amount of text. There is only one Phaistos Disc. To decipher an ancient language, scientists usually need a large amount of text to find repeating patterns, frequency of characters, and grammatical structures. With only 241 symbols, this becomes extremely difficult. Lack of bilingual text. We do not have any other text written in both the language on the disc and a known language. If there were, it would be the golden key to unlocking this mystery. Lack of context. We do not know anything about who created it, its exact purpose, or how it was used. The historical, cultural, and social context surrounding the disc is extremely limited. With these limitations, researchers have had to rely on inference and indirect analysis to come up with hypotheses about the purpose and content of the Phaistos Disc, including a religious or ritual text, an administrative or legal document, an agricultural or seasonal text, or even a hoax. The truth is, no theory is strong enough to convince the entire scientific community. Whenever a new decoding is published, it is often dismissed by other scientists for lacking convincing evidence, being inconsistent across the text, or failing to apply basic linguistic rules. The lack of a key to unlock the language is the biggest hurdle. More than a century has passed since the discovery of the Phaistos Disc, and it still stands, a silent witness to a lost civilization. It is not only an archaeological relic, but also a powerful reminder of the limits of our understanding of the past. What does it say? Who made it? What was its true purpose? The Phaistos Disc is a symbol of timeless mystery, a constant challenge to the human mind. Will we one day, with the development of data analysis technology, artificial intelligence, or some unexpected archaeological discovery, such as finding a similar text or a bilingual tablet, be able to unravel the secrets of the Phaistos Disc and understand the message that the ancient Minoans sent through time? This is still a big question, and perhaps it is this unsolved mystery that creates its irresistible appeal, making us forever fascinated to explore the unknown in human history. Imagine you're standing in a vast, arid region of Anatolia, in central Turkey. Here the landscape is dotted with strangely shaped stone columns, called fairy chimneys, the result of millions of years of volcanic weathering. At first glance, this landscape seems idyllic, with a wild beauty. However, underground, hidden deep within the soft volcanic rock, is an ancient architectural masterpiece, an incredibly huge mystery, built by human hands, the underground city of Derinkuyu. The story of Derinkuyu began quite by accident in 1963. A local resident in the Cappadocia region, while renovating his house, accidentally knocked down a wall. Behind that wall, he found not an ordinary room, but a small passage leading deep into the darkness. What he discovered next shocked the entire archaeological community and the world. It was not just a chamber, but a giant labyrinth, an intricate underground city, carved entirely by hand into the rock. This was Derinkuyu, which means deep well in Turkish, and the name was fitting for its scale. Derinkuyu is now believed to be the largest underground city ever excavated in Turkey, with the capacity to house up to 20,000 people, along with thousands of livestock and enough food to sustain life for a long time. This was not just a temporary shelter, but a fully self-sufficient underground city. To truly understand the extraordinary nature of Derinkuyu, we need to delve into its structure and construction techniques. The city has at least 18 excavated and explored levels, although some researchers believe there may be more that have yet to be reached. Each level is connected by a network of narrow, steep tunnels, sometimes with dead ends or trapdoors for defense. Inside Derinkuyu, you will find everything a large community would need to survive and thrive. Rooms carved into the rock, large enough to accommodate thousands of families. large pits designed to store grain, olive oil, and other foodstuffs, helping to sustain life during sieges. Separate areas for the protection and care of livestock, ensuring a source of protein and draught power. Churches and monasteries indicate the existence of spiritual life and religious communities. There is even a large cross-shaped church on the 5th floor. Wine and oil presses, evidence of economic activity in daily life, showing that underground life was not only about survival, but also about production. A system of deep underground wells ensured a steady supply of clean water for the entire city. Some wells even served as secret escape routes. But the most astonishing factor is its ventilation system. How could air circulate enough for 20,000 people and livestock tens of meters underground? The builders of Derinkuyu solved this problem ingeniously. They created a system of ventilation wells, tens of meters deep, penetrating many floors, ensuring fresh air circulated throughout the city, even in the deepest floors. These wells were also carefully camouflaged to avoid detection by the enemy. This shows a remarkable understanding of engineering, aerodynamics, and no small amount of computational skill. So, who built such a huge and complex structure? The answer is still a debated mystery. Archaeologists believe that the construction of Derinkuyu may have begun with the Phrygians around the 8th to 7th centuries BC. It was then expanded by the Persians, and especially the Byzantines in later centuries, who used it extensively in wars and conflicts. It was a structure that was built and completed in many stages by many different civilizations over thousands of years. But the real question and the biggest mystery is, how did they build it? Think about the scale. It is estimated that tens of thousands of tons of stone were chiseled and moved here. The ancients had no heavy machinery, no explosives, no power tools. They had only rudimentary tools such as chisels, hammers made from harder stones, such as basalt, granite, and possibly some bronze or iron tools. The creation of regularly sized corridors, chambers, and especially vertical air shafts that penetrated multiple levels required incredible precision. How could they ensure that the tunnels would not collapse? How could they calculate the direction of the air shafts so that they would meet and direct air down to the right place? The coordination between the groups of workers on different levels must have been perfect. This suggests a level of engineering, labor organization, and spatial calculation skills far beyond what we usually attribute to the ancients. As for its intended use, researchers agree that Derinkuyu was built primarily to protect its inhabitants from invasions and raids. The Cappadocia region has seen countless wars and raids by various empires throughout history, from the Persians to the Arabs. The underground city provided a safe haven, capable of providing for itself for months at a time. The main entrances could be sealed with massive round stone doors, weighing up to half a ton, that could only be opened from the inside, turning the city into an impregnable underground fortress. The Derinkuyu Underground City is more than just an architectural marvel. It is a powerful reminder of the resilience, ingenuity, and extraordinary adaptability of ancient humans in the face of danger. It is an underground mystery, a masterpiece of engineering and social organization, awaiting answers that remain hidden in the shadows of history. Derinkuyu still stands there as a powerful testament to the wisdom and ingenuity of our ancestors, a great mystery that we are still trying to decipher. From the mysterious underground cities of Turkey, we climb up into the towering peaks of the Andes, to the heart of one of the greatest empires of the ancient Americas, the Inca Empire. Here, near the sacred city of Cusco, their ancient capital, a stone structure has stood for centuries, defying scientific explanation of how it was built. It is the Sakawaman stone wall. Sakawaman, a name with many interpretations. Many researchers believe it means satisfied falcon, or reigning falcon in Quechua, the language of the Incas. Others translate it as jaguar head, because from above, the layout of Cusco and its surrounding structures is said to resemble the shape of a puma, a sacred animal of the Incas, with Sakawaman forming the head. Whatever the exact meaning, the name conjures up a sense of grandeur and power. Sakawaman is not just a fortress or a temple. It is a massive architectural complex built by the Incas from around the 15th to the early 16th centuries, at the height of their empire. It was a structure of immense strategic, religious, and symbolic importance to the Incas. It was designed not only to defend Cusco, but also to serve as a grand ceremonial center. The most impressive thing about Sakawaman is not the overall size of the structure, although it is indeed massive with walls stretching hundreds of meters, but the blocks of stone that make it up. The walls were built in the Cyclopean style, using huge blocks of stone. Look at those blocks. They are not rectangular bricks cut uniformly and stacked on top of each other, like so many other structures in the world. Instead, they are completely irregular in shape, with countless angles, concave and convex, like pieces of a giant three-dimensional puzzle. Yet they are fitted together with extreme precision, without any mortar, cement, or adhesives. The gaps between the stones are so tight that you cannot fit a thin sheet of paper, a strand of hair, or a razor blade between them. This precision is something that even modern stone-cutting technology, with laser cutters or CNC machines, cannot achieve on such a large scale. And the size of these stones is truly incredible. Some of the stones at Sakawaman weigh over 125 tons, are over 8.5 meters high and several meters wide. Imagine a stone block weighing as much as a Boeing 737, moved and installed perfectly. This is far beyond any technology we think the Incas could have possessed. So the big question is, how did the Incas do it? This is one of the great archaeological mysteries of the Americas. The Incas had no wheels for transportation, no large draft animals like horses or oxen. Nor did they have the sturdy iron or steel tools we have today. Their tools were mostly made of harder stones, like basalt, diorite, andesite, or copper, bronze. About the quarrying and moving of the stones, these giant blocks of stone were quarried from several kilometers away. The most popular theory is that they used giant human strength combined with basic physical techniques like levers, wooden rollers on dirt slopes. It is estimated that tens of thousands of people worked tirelessly for years, even decades, to build Sakawaman. Moving hundreds of tons of stone blocks across the rugged Andean terrain up to 3,700 meters above sea level is still an incredible feat. As for the precise carving and fitting, this is what has scientists' headaches the most. How could they cut and polish the giant blocks with millimeter precision so that they fit perfectly together, even when they have complex polygonal shapes? A widely accepted hypothesis is that the Incas used a meticulous technique called preparation and fitting. They would have placed the block in place, then used harder stone tools to scrape, grind, and mark the areas that needed to be cut on both the contacting blocks. They would then take the block out to carve, then try again, repeating this process dozens, hundreds of times until the two blocks fit perfectly. This was an extremely difficult process, time-consuming, laborious, and required extraordinary patience. Some researchers believe that they may have used water and sand as abrasives to create smooth surfaces and precise joints between the stones. Although often referred to as a fortress, many researchers believe that Sakawaman's function was much more complex and multi-purpose. Defensive fortress. This was certainly one of its main functions. With its towering zigzag walls and strategic location on a hill overlooking Cusco, Sakawaman was a formidable defense against invasion. The steep slopes and sharp corners of the walls made for ideal defensive positions. Many scientists believe that Sakawaman was an important ceremonial center for the Incas, a place of worship for the gods, especially the sun god, Inti, their supreme deity. The large flat areas inside may have been the site of important festivals and ceremonies, such as the Inti Raymi festival, which is still held here every year to honor ancestors and gods. It is hypothesized that some of the structures of Sakawaman were used to observe astronomical phenomena, helping the Incas to time agricultural and ceremonial activities. With its extraordinary scale and construction techniques, Sakawaman is also a powerful symbol of the power, wealth, and sophistication of the Inca Empire. Whatever its exact purpose, the Sakawaman stone wall is a powerful testament to the extraordinary technical skill and perseverance of the Incas. It not only challenges our understanding of ancient tools and construction techniques, but also raises the possibility that ancient civilizations may have achieved heights that we cannot fully understand or replicate. Much research and experimentation has been done, but the mystery of how the Incas created such perfect articulation remains unsolved. Sakawaman is more than just a wall of stone. It is a big question, a challenge to scientists, engineers, and historians. Will we ever truly understand the secrets behind these giant blocks of stone, or will they forever remain silent witnesses to a superior ability beyond the reach of modern intelligence? From the great Inca structures of the Andes, we fly to a glorious tropical land where wildlife flourishes and ancient mysteries lie dormant in the ground. That is Costa Rica, a small country but home to one of the most bizarre and mysterious archaeological artifacts in the world. Here, among the banana fields and jungles, people have discovered hundreds of objects that will surprise anyone: the giant stone spheres. The story of these stone spheres did not begin with a meticulously planned archaeological excavation, but took place randomly and unexpectedly in the 1930s. At that time, the United Fruit Company, a large American agricultural corporation, was reclaiming vast forest land in the Diquís Plains of Costa Rica to expand banana plantations. While clearing and digging the ground with heavy machinery, workers accidentally stumbled upon, and later discovered, strange round objects hidden underground. They were the first known stone spheres. Since then, hundreds of spheres have been discovered, scattered throughout the Diquís region and several other regions of Costa Rica. What makes them so unique and absolutely mysterious is not only their number, but also their incredibly perfect shape. These spheres are made of different types of stone, mainly granite, gabbro, and some limestone. They also vary in size, from tiny ones just a few centimeters in diameter, about the size of a tennis ball or a marble, to giants taller than an adult, reaching a diameter of about 2.5 meters and weighing more than 16 tons. The weight of 2 large trucks or an adult African elephant. What is most astonishing is that, regardless of their size, from the smallest to the largest, they are almost perfectly spherical. Laser measurements have shown that some spheres are so perfectly round that they deviate by only a few millimeters over their entire surface. This geometric perfection begs the question: how could an ancient civilization, without modern technology, create objects with such high precision? As for how they were created, archaeologists and engineers have hypothesized based on the possible tools and techniques of ancient people. The creators of these spheres are believed to belong to a pre-Columbian indigenous culture, possibly the ancestors of the Boruca or Diquís people, who existed from around 200 BC to 1500 AD. They may have used manual methods based on stone tools. The process may include the following steps: quarrying and transporting. Raw stone blocks are mined from quarries located far away from the processing area, sometimes up to tens of kilometers. Moving giant stones weighing tens of tons across rugged terrain without wheels or large draft animals is a feat in itself. Rough chiseling. First, they will chisel the rough stones into a nearly round shape by using harder stones, such as basalt or andesite, as hammers to hit and remove excess parts. Sharpening and polishing. This is the most important stage to achieve perfect roundness. They may have used abrasive tools made of stone or natural materials, such as coarse sand, stone powder, along with water. This process requires meticulousness, patience, and a great sense of shape. They may have rotated the spheres on an axis or used continuous manual grinding techniques, checking for roundness with the naked eye or simple tools. A large sphere can take weeks, months, or even years to complete if done by hand. This process requires a large amount of time, the labor of an entire community, patience, and a masterful skill in stone carving. This suggests that the culture that created them must have had a complex social system, capable of organizing large-scale labor and maintaining projects that lasted for decades. But the biggest question remains: what was the real purpose of these stone spheres? Who created them, and why did they devote such a huge amount of resources and effort to creating these objects? Unfortunately, their creators did not leave behind any specific texts, inscriptions, or legends to explain their meaning. Therefore, all existing hypotheses are at the level of speculation. They could be status and power symbols, territorial or road markers, or simply decorations. Unfortunately, in the past, many of the spheres were moved, destroyed, or even pried open by treasure hunters who believed they contained gold or precious stones. This has destroyed their original archaeological context, making it even more difficult to study and determine their purpose. Only a few spheres remain in their original locations. Some local legends have even spread mysterious stories about their origins. Some believe they are the eggs of giant, petrified creatures, or evidence of a lost civilization with unimaginably advanced technology, or even contact with aliens. Hypotheses that have no basis in modern science, but demonstrate the mystery and wonder that these spheres bring to the human imagination. To this day, the giant stone spheres of Costa Rica remain one of the world's greatest archaeological mysteries. They are not just a physical relic, but a powerful reminder that there is so much more to human history than we can fathom. So much more to our understanding of possibilities than we can explain. They are evidence of an ancient, unwritten culture that created a lasting legacy, so astonishingly complete. They show that human history still holds countless secrets, abilities, and knowledge far beyond our imagination of ancient people. Will artificial intelligence and advanced analytical technology in the future help to reveal all these mysteries, or will they forever remain big questions, stimulating human curiosity? Only time will tell. You want to learn something new every day? This channel is for you. Subscribe to get the latest tutorials and lessons.